Troy Isley and Keyshawn both fought. They both won. They both, I think, had moments that weren't maybe as great as we've expected from them, but
hell of a shot by Keyshawn with the counter.
yeah, absolutely.
Woo, wait.
Nice little slip right hand.
Yeah, I do want to say this about Troy. Troy, I saw improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I just see him working.
Yeah,
and I think that it's almost like running a mile. You know what I mean? Usually the one that works hard is the one that's gonna win at the end of the day. It's not the one who starts off the fastest, and it's not the one who saves it all for the end. It's the one who's working and being consistent. And that's one thing about Troy to this point. I say that from a personal standpoint. Him approaching me on multiple occasions, asking me, "Hey, what do you think? What's the da-da-da-da-da?" And then the other side of that is when I see it live when he fights, and I just see the energy is different, or I see the movements are a little different, and he's improving. I'm not comparing him to Andre Ward by any means, but early on in Andre's career, everybody expected, I think, a little bit more than he was giving, but look how he ended his career. And I kind of see that with Troy, where it's like, again, he ain't got off to the fastest start, but he's going to build to something, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that becomes.
And like Keyshawn, I know he's considered like this uber elite prospect, which I don't have any personal doubts that he will be that, but
he is mean.
But it's kind of, he has to deal with both sides of it. He's gonna get a lot of praise because of that, where people are like, Keyshawn's next up. You throw him into these fantasy matchups, Andy Cruz, everyone lines up. But then he has a performance last night, which was good.
But it wasn't elite.
But it wasn't great. Like, it wasn't like he gave himself, I think, a C+ or a B-. Like, I'd probably put you in that ballpark.
Yeah.
But now people are like, oh, Keyshawn Davis, because he's this high. And so it's like, you kind of deal with it on both sides. I think he's a great talent, but see what he does.
It's a part of watching somebody grow right in front of your eyes. They're going to have their ups, they're going to have their downs.
Which
and we're very judgmental in boxing. What have you done for us lately?
And it's very much different in this era compared to even Shawn's era of like, somebody go find me Shawn's, I don't know, what is that, like
13, 7,
like 8, that was 9
fight, like find Shawn Porter's 9th fight. Like it's not that available. Like we see him, he was the co-main event. Like so it's just different, like the accessibility of it, and then also the hype. We know more about the amateur boxing champions. But
working on it.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
That's still going on?
Well,
coming soon.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this because I never want to give anybody the impression that if you're not fighting like me, you're not excited. If you're not fighting like me, you're not doing it. Not saying that at all. And I actually just figured out a way to do this right here
right
in
now.
person. So the patience that he showed, great. But you got to have multiple paces, and you got to have multiple gears. And the way I defend that statement is by saying I had practically one gear, and it was a high gear. And I could have pulled back. You know what I mean? I could have showed more patience. I could have been more polished in a lot of the fights that I had.
Yeah.
And so it's like where I'm saying, hey, I didn't have a great way of changing my pace and my gear through a fight to go up and down or come down at certain points. He's got to learn how to go up.
Yeah.
Because people want that strong finish. You got that beautiful pullback counter right hand. You drop dude, flexed in his face. I was like, let's go. Yeah. And then that balloon just kind of...
Is that something you can learn?
Absolutely.
Like, is that something you can... Or is that like in his nature? Or is that something where he has to like...
I don't... Because I thought his nature was to... Forgive the terminology, but... Seek and destroy.
Yeah.
I thought that was his nature.
Plus who he's in camp with.
But I didn't really see that last night.
Good point.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you talking about who he's in camp with, Terrence Crawford is a finisher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where we've said in the past that we've seen Keyshawn and he reminds us a lot of Terrence. Yeah. Last night I was actually seeing Shakur Stevenson.
Okay.
And they're all pals.
Yeah. They're all pals. Yeah. Wow. So I think, again, Shakur is someone who's, he has his pace.
Yeah. And
he forces everybody to fight his pace. I'm really interested to see how some of the fights that he could be in, primarily Devin Haney, I'm really curious to see how the pace of that fight ends up, because you got one who's fast, you got one who's not slow, but definitely patient.
More methodical.
And this is where we're fighting at. And so I'm really want to see that. But overall, like you said, not the elite performance.
Yeah.
I personally think that if he had turned it up some more, that's where we would have been, dazzled. You know?
Rather learn in a victory than learning a loss. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's one thing I hate.
Yeah.
Well, what have you done for you
Yeah.
lately?
I mean, yeah.
The boxing.
And there's so many where we like nitpick some. I mean, I don't think the guy won a round. So,
No.
like, okay.